So if I have a long rein, I can make that, right? I can move my arm backwards and create that.
Right.
I can also move my hand forward and create the same amount of contact. That's shortening without tightening. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm just looking, what we're actually trying to do is find the, hold on, wait 1 second, is find the perfect distance between where your elbow sits underneath your shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the bit. So shorten your reins. I'm going to tuck my finger right here so you can't move your arm forward. Good job. Yep. And then keep going until you have no slack and no tension. Now what I would tell you, so this is actually, let me move your hand a little bit. That's going to end up being perfect. Good. So what I see right now with you, I was trying to figure out why I was so tired after working on Monday, and I realized it's because I did like
Up and
5,000
down,
steps.
up and down.
I was like, why am I so tired? Yeah. So this is looking really good as far as the elbow, hand, horse's mouth line. And I always do this because a lot of people think it's this line, it's the bottom line. And I've had some people who think it's the top line, but it's not. It's from the elbow right through.
Finger.
Exactly, because that's where the rein actually goes.
Right.
So the other one, the other line, is this line. So now look down for a second. See how you are just slightly narrow for that line. Now the other thing I want to adjust is that. I want to be able to run a ruler on the back of your arm, like that. So just experiment. Go way in for me right now. Yep, good. And then neutral, and then way out, and then neutral. Good, exactly, good. And it might not be perfect. Like for me, I think I'm like that, right? So you can see there's a little bit. It's not like hard. But the thing is that you don't want that. You definitely don't want that, right? Because that disrupts the line. And again, this is kind of basic physics. Like, for energy to flow unimpeded, it has to go in a straight line from point A to point B. You don't want it to have to make multiple points of change. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, you know, if this was, we were writing this in force arrows, you know what I mean?
Right.
This is so funny because I hated physics, but for some reason, this is the part I retained.
Right.
So, if you want to apply force, it has to come as one whole unit. And you see how a little bit that first time you wanted to go like that?
Right.
And that puts a lot of stress on this joint. The point is to find the strength that comes from your whole body as opposed to just your arm, right? Okay. So we'll illustrate this in the same way that we did with Katie. Okay. So, all right. So now you're going to just be committed to your elbow staying right there, okay? Elbow. Yeah. You see how your elbow is the part that gave?
Yeah.
Good. So now, now that you're really thinking about your elbow, you felt how, I'm going to go get my spine involved.
Right.
That's a piece of cake, right?
Right.
You're holding up my whole body weight right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, for better
You're
or
so
worse,
light.
150 pounds this morning.
You're so light.
So, but the thing is, so now, don't resist with your elbow. Or, let's try this. Put your hand down a little bit. Yeah, like even a little more than that. Good. Now resist me. Now resist with your elbow with your hand down. With your hand down. Okay? You're stronger, but you're not as strong as you were when you were thinking about your elbow, right? So that's why your elbow needs to be married to your bodies, because the horse is finding their balance in reference to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so you are the imaginary vertical line that they define their body balance relative to. So if they start to fall out of line, they should run into you. And you go, I'm not moving, and they go, oops, I've made a mistake, and I will illustrate that. So funny, when my hair is not long, I can't do this demo. Kind of drives me crazy. In 5 seconds, please pause for station identification. I need to cut my hair off. I am tired of having it this long.
So your last day is tomorrow?
Yep.
My last day of hairdressing is tomorrow.
Well, what did you say?
So my last day of hairdressing is tomorrow.
Hairdressing tomorrow, yes. I didn't know you were a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Are you retiring or are you just relocating?
No, I'm retired.
That's exciting.
Well, she's relocating and she's semi-retiring because she's still going to come back and do the special people at the barn.
Okay. Well,
Like me, because I finally found somebody that knows how to perm my hair again.
Right. So don't judge my split ends, okay? I'm due for a haircut. I'm actually way overdue for a haircut. Okay, so drop the reins for a second. So you're going to hold on to my hair, but you're going to think about your elbow at the same time. Okay, so hold on to this, the very tips, okay? Yeah, okay. So I'm your horse with reins that are a little bit too long, but your elbow's going to stay in one spot, so don't let go of me, okay?
Okay.
I am falling out of balance. I have now run into you and said, oh, I have fallen out of balance. I should come back into balance, right?
Yes.
So this would be like a downward transition. So I would pull, you would say no, and I would go, oh, I need to come to a downward transition, right?
Right.
But your reins are long enough that I can fall this far out of balance before I get any feedback, right?
Right.
So if your rein gets a little shorter, so it'll hold at the rubber band. There you go. Now I can only fall this far out of balance before I get the feedback. That's
I love this. This is a really great.
This is a
I just wish I had long hair.
Yeah, I know.
Because
that's why when I have short hair, I can't
try to get this across all the time.
And the thing is, you can do it with a lead line, but it's even better when it's actually like
attached to you.
Well, because the thing is, you don't want to let me fall down.
No, I don't want.
Because
Yeah.
I'm a person, and you worry about me, right? So
Right.
then shorten your reins a little more. Your rein being my
I do it with the spare pair of reins.
Yeah, so
That's
now
what I do.
You're letting me come a little bit. You see that? How your
Yeah,
elbow moves?
yeah.
Yeah. So this is about, and it's not backwards. It's not allowing your
It's
arm
just-
to go
Think
forward.
about grounding your
Just
elbow.
grounding my elbow.
Yeah.
Just putting the
Sending your shoulder to your elbow to
Right.
the ground.
right.
Yeah. So the thing is, so this is where, and not that I'm such a huge fan, but you know how Charlotte always says short reins win medals?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what this is about.
Okay.
Is that so? If you shorten my braid as much as you can without moving your elbow. There you go. I almost can't fall out of balance now.
Right.
You and I are connected. So drop my hair.
That's when your seat and leg aids go through more
Yeah.
clearly
So
because
do you
they
do-
don't throw them out of balance when
Yes.
you try to ask
well,
for something.
and so this is more for Katie than for you. But for people who like to ride with really, really long reins, one of my favorite Lennon exercises is she has people shorten the reins so short that they can't actually straighten their arm. Sorry, they can't actually bend their arms. So she takes the elbow and the hand completely out of the equation. So you're riding like this.
Riding like
So
that.
you feel the direct connection between the horse's mouth and your shoulder. So she skips the arm for all intents, like your arm becomes the rein.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is that it puts that feeling in people's minds so clearly where they go, one, I can only go this far, I can't lean forward. But also, if you have people that like will be on like this notch and say, I couldn't possibly shorten it anymore.
Yeah.
Have them ride like that and then go back to whatever notch that they want to be on, and they'll be like, I have loose reins, and you're like, yes, that is what I've been telling you. Yes, the whole time. So you didn't believe me. Okay, so go ahead and pick up your reins again. Good. All right. So now let's make sure that your hands are closed all the way around the reins, because the difference between a closed hand and an open hand is probably about a half an inch.
Right.
And that's enough to make, like, if you did a half an inch on my hair,
Yeah.
that would be a lot, right?
Be going.
Really good. Okay, so now let's experiment. Put your hands narrow. You can feel how the reins get a little looser, and then go a little wider. Now leave your elbows where they are and go past that point. Good, and you can feel how that increases the pressure. That's not right. So you want to find that place. You feel how you can kind of move around like this? It's like, like that's the
Yeah.
guitar string feeling
Yeah.
that I'm looking
Yeah.
for. Good. So now go too high. Good. Now, elbows don't move. This is your fulcrum point, right? So hold on. Elbows stay underneath your shoulders. Yes, good. Mark. There you go. I'm going to put my hand here so you get some feedback. And then put your hand too low. Good. Exactly. And you can feel that's not right. And then find the middle place. Good. Yeah, so you feel that's not. Now experiment a little bit. So what I really like to feel is like, what is the range of motion? If you can see this, here's your elbow.
Yeah.
This is the arc that you can make if that elbow stays put. Does that make sense? So I want you to find, what is this middle, what is this middle point? Where does that live? Yeah, good.
Lives there.
I think so too. Here's the only thing. I want you to double check your wrist. Good. So hold on, let me move you. Yeah. That place.
Okay.
And if you see, look in the monitor, there's that straight line, right there.
So it actually goes to
So you
my
see that
wrist.
shot.